Okay, well, we continue marching along with how we can find the zeros or the roots or x-intercepts of quadratic equations. And now we're going to look at the quadratic formula, which is a method that is always going to work, whether we find two rational roots or one rational root or irrational roots or complex roots. This method will work no matter what the situation. And so here we're looking at example 1 on page 265 in the textbook, where we're going to find two rational roots using the quadratic formula. And let's see here, we're to solve each equation using the quadratic formula. So what is the quadratic formula? Well, the quadratic formula is this: minus b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac over 2a. Now let's define this ABC. Well, here we have a quadratic equation, but it's not yet in standard form. We got x squared plus 6x equals 16. So let's go ahead and put it in standard form. So doing that, we'd have x squared plus 6x minus 16. We subtract 16 from both sides and set the equation equal to 0. Now, a is the coefficient of the quadratic term, which in this case is 1. This is a. B is the coefficient of the linear term, which in this case is 6. And C is the constant, which in this case is negative 16. And that is C. So now we've got A, B, C defined. And so we're just going to plug it into this quadratic formula and solve and determine what the roots are. So we go with negative b, so that would be negative 6 plus or minus the square root of 6 squared minus 4 times 1, a is 1, times c, a is negative 16. Square root of that over 2 times 1. Well, let's just do some little plugging and chugging here. Let's see, about to run out of room already. So we got negative 6 plus or minus square root of 36 minus 4 minus 1 times minus 1, well, that's negative 4. Negative 4 times negative 16 is going to give me positive 64 over 2 times 1 is just going to be 2. So now we got negative 6 plus or minus, let's see, 36 and 64 is 100, square root of 100 over 2. And let's see, where can we carry this? Let's carry this way over here. So now I've got negative 6 plus or minus 10 all over 2. And let's set that up as two equations. So we got negative 6 plus 10 over 2. And we've got negative 6 minus 10 over 2. Well, let's see. Negative 6 plus 10 is going to give me, we'll do it like this, 4 over 2. Well, that's just going to equal 2. And negative 6 minus 10 is going to give me negative 16 over 2, and that's going to equal negative 8. So my two roots of x squared plus 6x equaling 16 is negative 8 and 2. There we go. We'll look at one more. Okay, so here we've got, we're going to solve the equation using the quadratic formula. And we've got this equation, quadratic equation, 2x squared plus 25x plus 33. Well, let's see, 2 is going to be my A, 25 is going to be my B, and positive 33 is going to be C. So here, quadratic formula is negative B plus or minus the square root of B squared minus 4AC all over 2A. Okay. All right, so if I put negative B, that's going to be negative 25 plus or minus square root of 25 squared, substituting in 25 for B, minus 4 times 2 times C, which is 33, square root of all that, over 2 times A, which is 2. All right, got some big numbers going here. So let's see, we got negative 25 plus or minus the square root of 25 squared. Well, what is 25 squared? Glad you asked. That's 625. And then we got negative 4 times 2 times 33. So negative 4 times 2, of course, that's 8 times 33 is equaling negative 264 over 2 times 2 is 4. Okay, so then we got negative 25 plus or minus the square root of, what's 625 minus 264? 361 over 4. Okie doke. Now I got to find the square root of 361. I'm gonna just plug that in my calculator. See if that's got an even root. It does. It's 19. Square root of 361 is 19. So now I've got negative 25 plus or minus 19 over 2. Let's put that into two equations. So let's see, I got negative 25 plus 19 over 2. And down here I'm going to go negative 25 minus 19 over 2. All right, let's see. Negative 25 plus 19. Well, that's going to be... Oh, this is over 4, isn't it? This is all over 4. About to make a mistake. A was 2. Okay. Negative 25 plus 19 is negative 6 over 4. And I can reduce that down to negative 3/2. And let's see, negative 25 plus 19. Negative 25 plus 19, I believe that's going to be negative 44 over 4, which would equal negative 11. So, no, positive 11. No, negative 11. Negative 11. Negative 25, negative 19, negative 44 over 4, negative 11. Yeah. So my two roots are negative 11 and negative 3/2. Quadratic formula. It's a method of determining roots or zeros, and it will always give us the correct answer, provided we plug and chug it, mathematically compute it correctly.